Major League Baseball welcomes you to the following presentation of the Cleveland Guardians.
Gavin Williams' final tune-up before the All-Star break was a masterclass in pitching. He fanned 11 Minnesota Twins and provided the impetus for Cleveland's 4-game win streak heading into the break. And now they welcome in the Pittsburgh Pirates, flying the Jolly Roger high, winners of 3 in a row in their own right. Guardians TV, presented by Progressive. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Chris Jimenez. We'll check in shortly here with Kaylee Griffin. Chris, I don't think it's any big mystery that when Jose Ramirez went down with the injury, the biggest question Cleveland had was where would the offense come from? It's been a collective effort, but man, the emergence of Brian Rocchio on both sides of the ball and his leadership has really shown through.
Yeah, it really has. And we forget just a year ago, this young man was sent down to Columbus to figure some things out. And boy, since he has come back, figuring it out might be an understatement. He has been one of the most consistent players in this lineup day in and day out, both offensively and defensively. He looks like he's turned the corner and turning himself into a superstar, I might add.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's been consistently hitting the baseball, starting a rally, or walking it off for Cleveland, he's done a great job, but he definitely has had some help. Chase DeLauder, since he's come back, has been on fire. Austin Hedges is having a career year offensively as well.
Yeah, and you knew it was going to rely not just on one individual player. It was going to take a group effort. These guys have all stepped up in the sense of Jose not being there, and that's exactly what Stephen Vogt and company wanted to see.
That's our Hyundai in the driver's seat as the Cleveland Guardians get set to take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Coming up next, we'll check in with Kaylee Griffin. She caught up with Cleveland's All-Stars to find out how their experience at the Midsummer Classic went. Cleveland Guardians baseball is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. A grand slam for your budget. Visit Progressive.com. By your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Elk & Elk. For a team of injury lawyers dedicated to every client every day, call 1-800-ELK-OHIO.
As the temperatures
Bryce Harper, I think everyone in Cleveland would tend to agree. Cade Smith was just nasty, as was Parker Messick on the mound as they were joined by Travis Bazzana in Philadelphia representing the Guardians in this year's All-Star game. There were certainly so many memories that these three players made. I had a chance to catch up with Cade and Travis yesterday as they shared what playing in the Midsummer Classic meant to them.
I thought it was super cool. I mean, we were super excited to represent Cleveland. I mean, to be invited to something like that is a huge honor, something that none of us take for granted, and I think we really did our best to soak it in and just enjoy the moment, enjoy the show.
Amazing, pretty unforgettable time. I mean, so many amazing people to be around, a lot of cool items, you know, received from like getting, you know, team signed balls and jerseys and stuff, which will be cherished, you know, and I mean, just being on the field for, you know, home run derby and obviously being a part of the game, just really cool, yeah.
It was clear talking to both of them that this was an opportunity in a few days they certainly won't forget. And stay tuned because coming up on the broadcast, Parker Messick will join us as he shares some memories for the week and also what we can expect as the second half of the season gets underway. We've got two coming up here at Progressive Field. Gavin Williams is set to take the mound here in Game 1. A slight delay, but second half is on the way. Guardians and Pirates' first pitch is coming up next.
the billionaire.
And I watch those stars parade.
Something no Cleveland player has ever done before. He's got the hammer down. The legend continues. The new franchise leader in games played. And the Guardians walk it off. A grand slam for on-help Parker Messick.
Let me go so I can ride a train into the city in the middle of the night.
300th career stolen base.
Let me go so I can see.
And there is Travis Bassana.
All these friends never thought I'd get to
Look good, play good.
Play good. That's what it is.
watch those stars.
The Guardians stay red hot.
Everyone's running, shining the city lights, keep on shining.
He made an incredible catch.
Everyone's running, shining the city lights, keep on shining. Everyone's running,
Bassana booms one.
shining the city lights,
Goodbye.
keep on shining.
Good night. Unbelievable.
Lines in the sand.
Oh, the 4-day All-Star break turned into a 5-day respite after last night's game was postponed due to the air quality, but we're ramped up and ready to go with the big rig on the mound.
Yes, we are. Couldn't think of a better guy to start this second half other than Gavin Williams, making his 20th start of the season, coming off a gem in Minnesota before the break. 7 innings pitched, just 3 hits, 2 runs allowed, and 11 Ks. Finished the first half on a positive note, and now Gavin has the opportunity to really set the tone for this group going forward this second half.
Game time temperature this afternoon, 89 degrees, some cloud cover moving into downtown Cleveland as we get underway. Flags are blowing out, so the ball should carry.
Good day to hit.
Jake Mangum leads it off for Pittsburgh. Swings at the first pitch and lifts it in the air. Shallow left. In comes Stephen Kwan calling for it. 1 down. Here's the rest of Don Kelly's starting lineup for the high-flying Pittsburgh Pirates. Talking about the #1 team in all of baseball in runs per game and team batting average. Brandon Lau was in the 2-hole. Brian Reynolds hits third as Merlin Valdez bats cleanup. Ryan O'Hearn hitting 5th, and Nick Gonzalez followed by Tyler Callahan. Jacob Gonzalez, former White Sox, hitting 8th, and Henry Davis, the catcher, bats 9th. Brandon Lau takes a fastball in off the plate for ball 1. Matt Underwood, Chris Jimenez, Kaylee Griffin with you. Happy to be back at it here. These two teams red hot going into the break. As that ball smoked to right field, Brandon Lau stays locked in offensively for Pittsburgh. He's hit now in 11 of his last 12 games.
Batting third for the Pirates.
Defensively this afternoon for the Cleveland Guardians, you got Stephen Kwan in his customary left field position, Khalil Watson in center, Chase DeLauder out and right. On the left side of the infield, Gabriel Arias and Brian Rocchio, Travis Bassana, Kyle Manzardo on the right, and Patrick Bailey doing the catching.
Now Brian Reynolds. Reynolds, a switch hitter, brings an 11-game on-base streak.
Please speak to what's called a ball catcher trying to
Patrick Bailey with an immediate challenge after that pitch to Reynolds. ABS is powered by T-Mobile, and it is in fact a strike.
always hold return. 8.5 pitch on the win line.
Roberto Ortiz calling the balls and strikes this afternoon, so he's overturned. And it gives Gavin a leg up. And 0-1 count on Brian Reynolds.
Well, the top 4 in this Pittsburgh lineup have been very good this year, and Brian Reynolds is having himself a season.
Swing and a miss. He was tardy on that 98-mile-an-hour fastball from Gavin Williams. 2-seam action running away, and now the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Good early sign for Patrick Bailey. I was going to ask you, Chris, for Gavin Williams working on 7 days rest, what is he looking for Bailey early in the game from Gavin?
You have to attack the zone, in particular against this team. They will give you early outs, as you saw Jake Mangum swing at the first pitch of the game, but he has to acquire strike 1 today.
Whoa, just blew it right by him. 3 pitches and struck him out, overpowered him with the fastball, 2 down. The reason I ask you that is that, as we know, starting pitchers get into that rhythm, that routine of pitching every 5 days. Sometimes extra rest, you can be almost too amped up.
And that is something that Patrick Bailey will be looking for today. So far, so good, though, from Gavin Williams. Everything looks like it's kind of coming down the mound right towards him. but trying to overthrow is certainly something he will be looking for.
Esmeralyn Valdez takes a breaking ball for strike one. Well, this young man,
big pop here. Big pop to all fields. I was talking with Matt Capps, former closer for the Pittsburgh Pirates last night, and he said this kid has been really fun to watch.
Throw to first, but back safely is Brandon Lau. Valdez, third in all of Major League Baseball in the month of July. He has knocked in 15 runs. Guardians do a great job of slowing down the opposing run game. Swing and a miss. He waved at that breaking ball in the other batter's box, and it's 0-2. Valdez has played in 28 games and has already clobbered 10 home runs.
Yeah, I would expect them to expand the zone here a significant amount.
Couldn't get him to bite that time, 1-2.
But again, now you got his eyes out there. He just swung at a breaking ball, made the adjustment, took that one. Don't be surprised to see a fastball here at the top part of the strike zone.
The 1-2 pitch. Again, he went to the breaking ball. And now we're back to even at 2-2. Pirates using that offense to surge, winning 3 straight going into the break, and they are just a game and a half back in the National League wild card hunt. The division is a different story. It's a stacked NL Central, and the Pirates are fighting uphill. They're 10 games back of front-running Milwaukee. Cubs in second place, 6 games off the pace. Then the Cardinals at 8.5 back, followed by Pittsburgh. So 4 of the 5 teams in the NL Central all over the 500 mark heading into play.
Yeah, and again, this is not something that this organization's been used to here. But this, trust me when I tell you this, is a team that nobody in the National League wants to play if they do find themselves in October.
2 down and a payoff pitch coming. Lau is off, and a breaking ball is fouled by Valdez.
You mentioned the offensive stats. They're leading the National League in a lot of offensive categories. They've done some really, really good, moves in the offseason, bringing in Ryan O'Hearn, who's on deck here, Brandon Lau, who's currently at first base. They've made a massive difference in this offense.
Runner goes, and the pitch is popped up. The second baseman, Travis Bazzana, is under it, and the side is retired. A good top half of the first for the Big Rig, and now the Guardians are coming to bat.
Let's shop.
Let's have a look at Stephen Vogt's starting lineup for Cleveland, brought to you by Progressive. Travis Bazzana in the leadoff spot. Brian Rocchio hit second. Chase DeLauder batting third. Kyle Manzardo, Rhys Hoskins, and Khalil Watson in the middle. Gabriel Arias, Patrick Bailey, and Stephen Kwan hitting ninth. Right-hander Jared Jones fires a fastball at 100 miles an hour outside. I'll ask you the same question about Jones that I asked you about Gavin. He's working on 8 days rest, so an extra day in there for Jared Jones since his last start. And as Bazzana yanks that foul, the added caveat to Jones is that they're still monitoring him very closely with pitches per inning. Coming back from that internal brace procedure, it's kind of a shortcut to Tommy John, and so they're keeping a very close eye on him.
Yeah, they certainly are, and you will see them manage his innings going forward here this second half extremely carefully. Giving a guy like this an extra day as he is working his way back, I think is a very, very smart thing. But listen, you're going to see some high octane this afternoon. It's 100, and this kid can spin it.
Check swing. It's a called strike. 2-2 on Travis Bazzana. The 5th Cleveland rookie to go to the All-Star game. Swing and a miss. A nasty slider when you're throwing 100, and then he breaks that off. That's very tall task for the opposing hitters. StatCast 3D is powered by Google Cloud. We
Jared
talked Jones a year ago to this year, or 2 years ago to this year.
Right, he missing the entire last season. You can see the velo difference. You oftentimes hear guys coming back from that internal brace or Tommy John, maybe throwing a little bit harder, getting that ligament tightened up in there. Essentially, you have a new arm. But this kid, before the injury, was still high octane, could still spin the baseball, and he has picked up right where he left off.
Rocchio fouls that pitch back at 100 miles an hour, and it's 1-1.
It'll be interesting to see how many sliders as opposed to changeups Jared Jones throws today. He loves the slider, but he will throw a ton of changeups to left-handed hitters. And as we've seen in the past, teams love throwing changeups to the Guardians just based on how many left-handed hitters they have up and down the lineup.
A ball and 2 strikes for Brian Rocchio, who took a 5-game hitting streak into the All-Star break. And he goes up the ladder, could not get to it. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jared Jones. Yeah, you hit on it. High octane on both sides.
It certainly is. Again, this is going to be a day of lighting up the radar gun with both Gavin Williams and Jared Jones. And he just got underneath this ball. Again, trying to change an eye level after that low dart down at the bottom part of the strike zone at 100. Your eyes are down looking out over, and that thing, you got no shot.
Chase DeLauder fouls the fastball back. Now that was a slider, but DeLauder is a guy with the short swing. He could match up favorably against a guy like
Certainly
Jones.
could. And I think a key tonight for these guys, you cannot try to pull Jared Jones with how much spin and soft he throws. Heads up, Rugi. Did a good job of getting himself out of the way of that. But Chase has always been that guy that allows the ball to travel, doesn't get too pull oriented. That's the only way that you can kind of catch up to that 100 to 102 and still stay on one of those nasty breaking balls. Right there is about as impressive as it gets, and you can see since his return from the injured list, him and Brian Rocchio have been on fire. And it's almost, he's one of those guys you just wish the break didn't happen for because he was so hot.
For Cleveland, this is a familiar sight. It's the second time in their last 3 games they are facing a pitcher who's coming off a start in which he was perfect deep into the game. The 2-2. Yuri Perez in Miami was coming off a game in which he was perfect for 7 innings against the A's. And they were able to have a lot of quality at bats. They ended up winning that game against Perez and the Marlins. And now you get Jones coming off 6 perfect innings his last start as he misses down low the slider.
For your speech, what's callable
Challenge coming from Henry Davis. ABS powered by T-Mobile. It could be, and it is, a 1-2-3 inning. And Jared Jones strikes out the side to start the game.
Amy Acton's
and we're back here for inning number 2, and a first pitch curveball from Gavin Williams, strike 1 into left-handed slugger Ryan O'Hearn, joined now by Parker Messick down in the Guardians dugout, coming off his first career All-Star appearance, and it was quite an appearance as O'Hearn sends a high fly ball to right center field. Khalil Watson, the center fielder, has it for out number 1. A perfect inning of work, 10 pitches, 7 strikes. Parker, I'm wondering, how in the world were you able to just walk in there and pitch like it was just a regular old Wednesday in the middle of the season, as opposed to this is the All-Star game?
Yeah, pitching was actually the most comfortable part of that whole weekend. There's so much other stuff going on that when I got to the mound, that was actually the best I felt. So it was a lot of fun. You know, it was just super blessed that got to be a part of it, and got fortunate enough to have a good outing.
I know getting to the big leagues is every kid's dream, and that's really one of those kind of pinch yourself is this real moments. But the All-Star game, I mean, did you have some of those moments walking around during the festivities?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, I feel like everything's happening so fast. I feel like I just
oh, look out.
I told you to keep your head on the field, Park. I told you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I forgot what I was saying, but yeah, yeah, I feel like everything's happening so fast. I mean, I feel like I just debuted, and honestly feel like I just got drafted, and now you know, get to experience the All-Star game. When I was walking around, just looking at all the guys that I was around, it was incredible. You know, I can't say it enough. Just truly blessed to be a part of it.
Yeah, no doubt. Park, who was your favorite guy you had a chance to talk to when you were out there?
I've actually been asked that question a lot. Just meeting everyone. I mean, Verlander was a really cool one. You know, being from Plant City and him spring training in Lakeland, you know, knowing that they were always around there was really cool. So many talented arms that were there. Just getting to talk to everyone, really. I mean, it was such a fun experience.
I'm wondering, because you're so young and everything's still so new and fresh to you, was there a starstruck moment where you were like, oh my gosh, that's so-and-so right over there?
Oh my God, yeah, no doubt. Every time I walked around the corner, it was someone that I looked up to, grown up watching. So I mean, it was such a cool experience. I mean, you can't draw it up any better than that. It was so fun.
How much fun was it, and how enjoyable was it to go, not solo, but have a couple of your teammates along for the ride?
Yeah, it definitely made it fun, you know, getting to share that moment with them. You know, it was all of our first time, so, you know, it was special, and we were bouncing questions off each other the whole time. When do we need to be where? What are you guys doing for this? What are you guys wearing for the red carpet? All that stuff, we got to bounce off each other, so, well, you know, it was fun.
Speaking of the red carpet, I mean, you look sharp, so first and foremost, congratulations to that. I'm sure the fiance maybe had something to do with that.
Yeah,
but
that was all her doing.
Yeah.
Dude, you guys, I think you were a best dressed couple on the carpet. That's just me. I'm saying you guys really.
You would say the same thing to Cade if he was looking at you right now, too.
No, I'm going to give the nod to Parker.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Yeah, that was all her doing. She got me dressed up. She got herself dressed up. So props to her for all that.
We're showing the picture of you two. I mean, that's GQ quality.
It certainly is. Yeah. It certainly is. But how fun is something like that? Obviously, it's not something you go through on a daily basis.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that was something that she was looking forward to. I was looking forward to, and it was, you know, honestly incredible to be a part of. You know, I've never been a part of something like that, and you know, I really didn't know what to expect. It was a lot. There were a lot of people screaming at you the whole time. You know, but I mean, as crazy as it was still so fun.
Parker, Stephen Vogt mentioned that, you know, the 4-day break, everybody looks forward to it. You need a little breather. You need a little time away. Less for you guys that went to the All-Star game than your teammates. But he said, boy, yesterday everybody showed up with a bounce in their step, ready to get back to work. What's the feeling like inside the clubhouse for this team getting ready to come down the stretch?
Yeah, I think we know how good we finished off leaving Miami, and you know, we know what we have ahead of us, especially, you know, getting Hosey and Angel back here, you know, whenever that is coming up soon. So, you know, it's just exciting. We know we finished off on the right foot, and you know, we're ready to have a good back half and hopefully take hold of the Central.
0-1 count on Jacob Gonzalez with a runner at second, 2 down, and he hammers it deep right field. If it's fair, it's gone, and it is out of here. Wow. Jacob Gonzalez, who came over from the White Sox just 8 days ago in a trade, delivers a 2-out 2-run homer to put the Pirates on top.
Well, this was a hanger, and this ball was hit a long way. We mentioned the wind blowing out that direction. Not sure the wind really helped this ball. Not sure it needed much help, to be completely honest. This is just a good old-fashioned, you hang it, we bang it right there, right down the middle, not where Gavin wanted it.
Good extension by Gonzalez, as he kept it fair and gives Pittsburgh the early lead. Now Henry Davis, the Pirates catcher, lines one to right field, and that's caught. Hey, Parker, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate the time.
Yep, thank you guys for having me.
All right, that's Parker Messick, Guardians All-Star pitcher. It's Pittsburgh 2, Cleveland nothing as we move to the bottom half of the second inning.
That's swordfish.
Kyle Manzardo leads off the home half of the second inning, and Jarrett Jones with another pellet in there at 99 miles an hour for strike one. Manzo, then Rhys Hoskins and Khalil Watson here in inning number 2. Cleveland down 2-0. You've got to get the dial turned up to get to 100.
You certainly do. And I think the key today, again, we mentioned not necessarily trying to pull the ball up Jarrett Jones, but you have to think to that left center field gap against a guy like this. and you have to be short to the baseball. You know, especially having 5 days off. I mean, 100 looks like 100 on any given day. But when you're given 5 days off, 100 probably looks closer to 110 right now, these guys.
Struck him out. 4 up, 4 struck out so far. Let's check out our Toyota keys to the game, Chris.
Well, offensively, it's pick up where you left off the first half. I know it's been a bit of a struggle so far early on in this game, but plenty of baseball left to be played. And for Gavin, it set the tone. You know, he did a great job coming out that first inning, made the mistake there to Gonzalez there in the second, but he still has an opportunity to grind himself through this game and continue to set the tone for this starting rotation going forward.
Rhys Hoskins yanked that fastball. He was ready for it. He had the barrel out. Well, it pulled it foul. Hoskins hit 2 home runs on the Guardians' final road trip before the break.
Previous speech was called a strike by Rishon.
That called strike by Roberto Ortiz. ABS powered by T-Mobile, and oh man, Nick.
Was confirmed. Cleveland have 1 challenge reminder.
That's about as close as it gets.
No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, not only mentally is that difficult, just from you think you take a close pitch, you take a ball, but now knowing you not only have to cover 100 in that same spot, knowing he's got the type of spin he's got.
Sky high pop to left. Ryan Reynolds circles under it. 2 down. First ball put in play.
And hopefully that's a good sign of things to come.
Batting 6 for the Guards, center fielder number 31, Khalil Watson.
The neon-clad Khalil Watson steps in. Watson hit in back-to-back games going into the break. And he can't catch up. Jared Jones here in the early going is just overpowering.
Well, the worst part is it's not going to get any easier from an octane standpoint. I'm not sure the Pirates employ a pitcher that throws under 100.
2-strike pitch to Watson. Man, oh man. 5 out of the first 6 Guardians hitters struck out by Jared Jones, and the Pirates lead it 2-0. Guardians TV is presented by Progressive. 3rd inning, Pirates lead 2-0, top of the order for Pittsburgh. So far through the first 2 innings, it's been a familiar theme for the Buccos. They average almost a run and a half per game over the first 2 innings. They are a fast starting offense, so they've outscored their opponents now collectively by 48 runs in the first 2 innings of their games this year. And one of the reasons for that is something that I saw Brandon Lau say as he makes his way to home plate. Lau singled his first time up. After the Pirates swept the Brewers, he said, quote, "We are one of the best offenses in baseball, if not the best." And to say that while we're not at full strength is a pretty impressive thing to say. So it speaks to the confidence internally that this group has right now.
And again, that's a you know, a momentum shift, because this is a group that, you know, we've seen them have really good pitching the last couple of years, but offensively they have struggled mightily. Well, you make a few trades, you bring in a few veterans, and they kind of set the tone in that clubhouse.
Lau fouls it back. Ryan O'Hearn added on Sunday. We have good hitters 7 through 9, and you don't see that on a lot of teams.
And that is exactly right.
And when you make a trade for Jacob Gonzalez in the middle of the season, and he hits a 2-run homer here today, you understand exactly what they're talking about. And this is just
a perfect example of
this
the
jump
difference.
from one year to the next is
The mentality shift has been extremely impressive.
Lau goes down swinging. Second strikeout for Gavin Williams. 2 down here in the third. And we'll get a word from Cleveland Clinic.
Stepping to the plate for the Pirates.
When you make complexities your specialties, you redefine what's possible. For every care in the world, Cleveland Clinic.
Now Brian Reynolds struck out his first time up. Tried to hold up, he went.
Kind of talked about Gavin having to attack this group early. They will give you early outs. 10 of the 11 batters Gavin's faced so far have seen a first pitch strike.
He checked, it was high, 1-1. Slowed it down, he got a piece of it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Over the last 3 years, Cleveland has definitely had the upper hand against their rivals from just over the border. They're winning 7 of the last 9, including a 3-game sweep last year in Pittsburgh.
Those little dudes might become mortal enemies here pretty soon. One young man looks like he's ready to go right now. I think this was a pitch comm issue here. I do believe it got smoked.
Oh, that was a direct hit. Pitch comm is not encased in Kevlar.
Be a catcher, they say.
Swing and a miss. Gavin blows it by him with a good fastball. Strikes out back-to-back hitters to end the top half of the third. Cleveland Guardians baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture and Mattress. Lazy Boy recliner starting at $395 at Levin. OAR Day here at Progressive Field. It's 2-0 Pittsburgh. Bottom half of the third inning. Gabriel Arias will lead it off. Tops it to short. Nice short hop pick by Gonzalez, and he throws him out. That'll bring up Guardians catcher Patrick Bailey.
Number 16, Patrick Bailey.
Bailey hit in each of his last 3 games going into the break, but more importantly over his last 20 games, batting at a .281 clip. And when you think about Bailey's offensive emergence and the season Austin Hedges is having offensively, we know about their defensive exploits. You're talking about 2 of the best in the business, and now you're getting offensive productivity from these guys. It's been impressive. To left field, back goes Reynolds. And just shy of the track, he pulls that down. 2 away.
Well, this is now one of those situations for Stephen Kwan. 2 pitches, 2 outs on a guy that has been cruising so far today. You're certainly taking 1 strike here, and if you're Jared Jones, you're trying to pump this thing down the middle as easily as you possibly can, but I would not be surprised to see Steven even potentially take 2 strikes in this type of situation, just to give Gavin a few more.
Taking all the way.
Yes, he was.
Kwan batting .345 in the month of July. He has really found something offensively that has turned his season at the plate around in the positive direction. And that's fouled back 0-2. To 2-strike pitch. And a line drive left field, base hit for Kwan.
Oh, That's something that's a beautiful thing right there. It's not how hard you hit it, it's where you hit it. And look how smooth and easy this swing is. That's letting the ball travel. You know you're going to get probably a heater. You got to see the baseball up. Stephen Kwan knows the assignment and just gets the barrel of the bat to the ball.
That ends a streak of 29 consecutive batters retired by Jared Jones.
That also ends a streak of 9 consecutive perfect innings with 15 punch-outs.
Travis Bazzana went down swinging his first time up, takes the ball in the dirt, 1-1. Bazzana, since April 28, leads Cleveland in doubles and runs scored.
I think he is an extremely important part of whatever run this team makes here in the second half. If he can continue to just lock down that leadoff spot.
Previous pitchers call ball catcher is challenging.
Henry Davis now will utilize the ABS powered by T-Mobile, and it is in fact a strike.
Ball is overturned. Pittsburgh have to try to remind me.
Check, and Davis was thinking about a back pick opportunity, but Kwan was not that far off the bag. Both Henry Davis and Travis Bazzana, first overall pick in their respective drafts.
That's right.
And the 2-2 is lined to right field. Kwan is off and running. He'll head to third. Rugi Odor is going to wave him home. He'll try to score, and he will. Kwan beats the tag, and it's a 2-1 ball game as Travis Bazzana drilled that ball into the right field corner.
He got himself a heater, and he did not miss it. This was a sweet swing here by Travis Bazzana. Fastball right down the middle at 98. Did a great job of just staying really short, putting that ball in a perfect location. Stephen Kwan is off to the races, never slowed down. Look at Brian Rocchio being a good teammate as well right there, telling him you better get yourself down. Great slide.
Now let's see if Rocchio can cut down that swing. First time up, he chased a ball that was probably a foot above the strike zone. If he can get to that short swing that has made him such an effective hitter this year, he's got a great opportunity to tie this game up. Up the middle, but right there is Gonzalez, and he throws him out. Guardians get on the board with back-to-back 2-out hits in the third. 2-1 Pittsburgh. Top half of the fourth inning brought to you by your Northeast Ohio Ram dealers.
Leading off the top of the fourth for Pittsburgh, right fielder number 55,
Esmerlin Valdez will lead off for Pittsburgh here in the fourth inning. Popped up on the infield to end the first. They call him Esmerlin the Magician. Not because of his defensive prowess, but because he makes balls disappear into the cheap seats.
He certainly does. He probably goes over the cheap seats as well.
Valdez in each of the last 2 minor league campaigns hit 22 home runs and 26 home runs respectively. So this guy has made the ascent through the Pirates minor league system. And now this year, getting his first taste of big league baseball, and he is put together. They list him at 6'2", 230 pounds. Swing and a miss. Good fastball from Gavin Williams, 2-2.
Well, he's going to have to continue to live up there and potentially even that left-handed batter's box. As this young man's swing has some holes in it.
Struck him out looking, and a challenge from Valdez. Well, we've had a lot of challenges early against Roberto Ortiz, the home plate umpire. ABS powered by Team and Valdez
Pirates have 2 challenges remaining.
wins the challenge. Pirates are perfect on the day. Full count now. And he'll spend a timeout. Oh, just painted a perfect pitch. 99 at the knees on the outside corner. And that's 3 consecutive strikeouts for Gavin Williams. Not long ago, on their last homestand, Ryan O'Hearn had a day he'll never forget.
Oh boy.
Not 1, not 2, but 3 home runs and 10 runs batted in. Something no Pirate has ever done before. 3 home runs, yes. 10 RBIs, no. Not Honus Wagner, not Ralph Kiner, not Willie Stargell, Dave Parker, or Barry Bonds. 10 runs batted in a single game. 2 Pirates previously had hit 3 home runs in a game. Andrew McCutchen did it back in 2013 against Colorado, and Willie Stargell had 2 3-homer games in his Hall of Fame career for Pittsburgh.
10 RBIs.
That's a week.
I mean,
a really good week for some guys.
Might be a year for some guys.
Gavin Gaston with another 99-mile-an-hour fastball, and he has fanned 4 in a row. So he is trying to match Jarrett Jones with the strikeouts.
Well, he's doing his best impression too. This was a nasty fastball, an angry fastball at the top part of the strike zone. I think Gavin watched a little bit of video on Ryan O'Hearn and know where that 10 RBI 3 home run game came from.
Each starting pitcher has struck out 5. The difference, a 2-out 2-run home run by Jacob Gonzalez in the second inning. Pirates lead it by a run. Nick Gonzalez trying to go to right field, but that's going to slice out of play. Gonzalez is the Pirates' road warrior, batting .327 away from PNC Park. That's the 3rd best road batting average in the big leagues.
It's impressive. Again, he's getting an opportunity here at third base. He can kind of play all over the field, at least the infield wise. But I think they're extremely happy with what he's turning himself into.
Checked and strike 3 call. Ring him up. He strikes out the side. 5 in a row, 6 on the afternoon. Midway through the 4th. 2-1 Pittsburgh.
Fresh facing.
Chase DeLauder leads off the bottom of the 4th. Guardians down a run, and DeLauder bangs it through the left side of the infield. So Chase, who had 4 multi-hit efforts in his last 7 games going into the break, has a base hit to start the bottom half of the 4th. Chris, I asked you at the start about the extended layoff for both starting pitchers and what, if anything, you might be looking for, impact that might have on the game. Tom Bochenek handed me this card between innings. The pitchers have combined, Gavin Williams and Jarrett Jones have combined for 11 0-2 counts. We're in the 4th inning. And not a single 2-0 count. So you talk about on point and throwing strikes and being on the attack aggressively.
I mean, sometimes a day like yesterday can give you an opportunity to get off the mound. You know, the game was delayed. You knew that going into it. You get off the mound, you get your bearings right again. Maybe you throw 1 or 2 off here and there. But even these infielders, even these guys coming back in, it's almost like a day of practice before really getting back after it.
Up the ladder, can't get to it. 1-2 the count.
You know, the most difficult part that I always remembered of coming back from an all-star break was your timing at the plate. You know, that was the hard part. You can go out there, you can take ground balls, you miss a couple of days. From that perspective, it's not a big deal, but that timing at the plate,
And that's why even with a rehab assignment, guys that miss 10 to 15 days on the injured list, coming back, facing big league pitching, that timing is everything.
It is absolutely everything, and it makes it even more impressive with guys like Chase DeLauder, who didn't need a rehab assignment.
Swing and a miss. Manzardo down. That's 6 strikeouts for Jared Jones. A word here from Bet365.
Did you win? Let's just say the next round of omelets is on me, fellas.
Bet $10, get $200 in bonus bets.
Yeah, 1 on, 1 out for Rhys Hoskins on a warm day here at Progressive Field. Game time temperature 89 degrees. Rhys fouls it back. Both times he has gone up, he has been ready for the first pitch fastball. First time up, he yanked it foul. That one, he was on it, but just clipped it back.
That's a veteran for you right there. He knows he's going to get something early in the count. If you're into the stats, that's when Jared Jones notoriously is a little more fastball heavy.
And he pounds the zone again. It's 0-2. You know, hey, and give some credit to Henry Davis. He sees that fastball effective and overpowering at times. He's riding it. Haven't had to fool around with too many off-speed pitches.
And that's why, you know, you can create an incredible, just a perfect game plan and maybe adjust on the fly like you're potentially seeing him do. You know, we talked about maybe Jared Jones throwing a few more changeups than you've seen in the past. I don't think I've seen one changeup from him yet.
Just missed. Tried to paint the outside corner. 2-2.
Again, give Rhys a little bit of credit. That ball did not miss by much.
Down low. There was a breaking ball, a slider. It was way off the mark, so a full count. Don't know how aggressive you'd be with DeLauder here.
I think with Watson coming up, you'd want to try to leave that hole open potentially.
Not running, and the 3-2 swung out and missed, and that's why you can't be too aggressive. And a lot of swings and misses here today. 7 strikeouts now for Jared Jones.
Yeah, with the fastball that Jared Jones is working with today, we're talking 100 to 100 plus. That's about as easy of a pitch as you could ask for from a catcher to throw somebody out on. And as we see, look at the pitch usage. 1 changeup he's thrown, but 36 fastballs. And that's where, you know, as a catcher, again, you try to use your eyes. Like I said, you can have the best game plan going into it. The hitter tells you one thing, the pitcher potentially tells you one thing. And right now, the pitcher's telling him, keep throwing the heater.
Here's the 0-1. You wonder, does it get boring for the pitcher? Another fastball? Can we change it up a little bit? No, you ride it when it's working.
You ride it when it's working, and you try to massage him in the dugout. Hey, don't worry, I promise you, we'll get to that breaking ball at some point.
0-2 count. In the dirt. And that was a nice.
It was a changeup.
Yeah, nice backhanded stab by Davis. Popped up out of play. The only good. I mean, this is a small, like minuscule victory if you're Khalil Watson or any of these hitters. The changeup is not a pitch you really have to honor at this point.
Not at this point, no.
Like you're just sitting fastball and hoping you get one.
That may change third time through the lineup.
Yeah.
You know, depending on how long they want to run him out. That's a good pitch.
Previous speech was call ball. Archer is telling you.
Another ABS powered by T-Mobile. And it is below the zone, so the Pirates finally and both teams have 1 remaining.
Well, that's a worthwhile challenge in my opinion as well. That was a really good pitch. A good situation right there for Jones to double up on that pitch as well. Now you just wonder if he goes back to it or goes back to the heater.
Banged on the ground to the second baseman, Lau. A little bit of a wide throw, but it's hauled in by Callahan. We played 4. It's Pittsburgh 2, Cleveland 1.
Listen! Welcome back to Progressive Field, where the Pirates lead at 2-1 here in the top of the 5th. Let's take a look now at our Elk and Elk injury report. Everyone has been on pins and needles, hoping for some good news when it comes to the injury report. And I've got some good news when it comes to Angel Martinez. He made his rehab debut last night in Columbus. He was expected to play 5 innings. Now the game got cut short due to weather. He got through 3. Stephen Vogt said he felt really good after the game. He played 3 in the field, took 2 at-bats, and he's expected to start once again in Columbus here this evening. So guys, obviously, as this team is heading into the second half of the season, getting players healthy is probably priority number 1, and Angel Martinez is a big part of that. So seeing him get the start last night and again here today in Columbus, that is certainly some good news.
All right, thanks, Kaylee. Speaking of injuries, Tyler Callahan doubled and scored in the second inning. Last year, he was 5 games into his big league career, and he tried to run down a fly ball in the outfield, crashed into the wall, broke both bones in his forearm, needed 12 screws and a metal plate.
Wow. You think he beeps going through the airport these days?
Wow.
I do remember that, though.
It was pretty
I
gruesome.
remember that play,
yeah.
Yes.
But here he is back, and
I'll give him some credit.
Been one of the Pirates' better hitters in the clutch, hitting .320 with runners in scoring position. He had a 4-game hitting streak before going 0 for 8 going into the break, but then that double in the second inning, the first hit for extra bases off Gavin Williams, but he strikes him out here. That's 7 Ks for the big rig. Hey, it's another Guardians Kids Fun Day tomorrow. All kids run the bases after the ball game at 1:40. Thanks to Cleveland Clinic Children's. You can get your tickets now at CLEGuardians.com. Now Jacob Gonzalez, who hammered that ball over 400 feet his last time up. You know, it's interesting, when we were in Chicago playing the White Sox, the talk around the White Sox ball club is, when Murakami comes back, what are they going to do with Gonzalez? He seemed to be sort of the odd man out in that scenario. And lo and behold, the Pirates obviously got wind of that and said, hey, you don't have to send him back to the minor leagues. We'll take him off your hands.
Yeah, they just lost Connor Griffin. You know, they put him on the 60-day injured list. And this is kind of that perfect complement.
Yeah.
Not the same type of player, but somebody that you feel confident at the shortstop position, and every now and again will run into one.
And the Pirates got the added bonus of securing Brandon Eisert, a left-handed arm for their bullpen. So it was a twofer. And they sent a minor league pitcher back to the White Sox in exchange, and I think there might be some future considerations tag attached to that deal as well. But Gonzalez hammers that one into right field.
Well, the break hasn't been an issue for Gonzalez so far, to say the least. He has seen the baseball really well.
And again, that trade was just consummated on July 10th. So for Gonzalez, he goes from one contending team to another.
Well, I can say this. There is nothing better than when you do get that opportunity with a new team in the middle of the season to get yourself off on the right foot, at least from the offensive perspective.
Henry Davis takes the first pitch strike on a curveball.
Nice, easy way to endear yourself to your new teammates. Hit a couple of home runs and a few rockets.
Like so many offense, or like so many catchers, offense has been something of a sore spot for Henry Davis. You saw his season numbers entering play today, but in the month of July, batting an even .300. And the power has picked up 6 homers in his last 27 games.
Well, I think everybody knows it's in there, and so much is put on catchers, especially young catchers, you know, from the game calling side of things, the scouting side of things. We joke all the time, man, I played in the wrong era back when hitting 220 was cool.
The 0-2. And strike 3 call. Davis out looking at a fastball, couldn't pull the trigger, and that's 8 Ks for Gavin Williams, and 7 of them coming the second time through the order.
I mean, this is pretty much a perfect pitch. There's really not much you're going to do. With 98 right in that top rail of the strike zone, you can see Patrick Bailey just does a great job of staying on top of that ball and not trying to bring that ball to the heart of the plate, but keep it right there at the top.
Inside out swing by Jake Mangum, but Stephen Kwan, the Gold Glover, reels it in. And we're halfway through. Pittsburgh 2, Cleveland 1. 2-1 Pittsburgh, bottom of the 5th inning. And Gabriel Arias will lead it off for Cleveland. Our Bet365 betting odds today. Arias had a modest 3-game streak going into the break. He was 5 for 12. And over his last 13 starts, batting at a 350 clip. So starting to find it offensively.
Yes, he certainly is that. He's proven himself defensively here. That's never really been the issue. It's just been consistency at the plate.
You noticed something, though, before the ball game when the team was taking some infield practice. You know, we know Jose Ramirez, his return is somewhat imminent, hopefully by the end of this month, if not sooner. Arias was taking ground balls at first base prior to the game.
Did think that was quite interesting. Just, again, trying to find a way to keep a right-handed bat in this lineup. As you mentioned, starting to kind of swing the bat a little bit better. And we know his defensive capabilities, and arguably one of the more talented players defensively on the field at any point in time.
Got a piece.
And he did a good job of fouling off that slider right there, but trying to find a way to get this young man going. I've said this for a really long time. He is just as talented as Mike Trout, and I think that's what drives you crazy as a fan, maybe as one of the coaches, that he just has not been able to put it together.
8 strikeouts for Jared Jones, 1 down here in the 5th inning.
Well, I noticed this last half inning, Jared Jones going up immediately after that inning to Paul Skeens. Again, I think it's great that they have confidence in each other. You see our starters do the same thing, trying to get any sort of feedback.
Nice hop for the second baseman Lau, and Patrick Bailey is retired, 2 down.
Well, let's take a quick second to wish a happy belated 82nd birthday to Dan Evans of Warren, Ohio.
All right.
Birthday was on the 17th of July, so happy birthday, Dan.
2 down for Stephen Kwan. He had Cleveland's first hit. It led to their only run in the 3rd inning. And the swing that we saw from Stephen Kwan is the swing that we have been accustomed to seeing from Stephen Kwan in his career, which was stay on that ball and hit it with line drive authority to the opposite field. And, you know, that's the kind of thing that he's doing more of. It almost felt like early in the season, maybe there was an emphasis trying to get the ball to the pull side, and maybe it just got him mechanically sort of in a funk.
And that happens. That happens, you know, oftentimes actually. When you're used to doing maybe something a certain way. Look at this. Nice, just compact. Try to get the barrel short to the baseball and long through it. I know they were making a concerted effort for him to try to pull the baseball to the pull side in the air and maybe add a new element to his game, but getting himself back to what really got him to the point he's at, I think, is integral.
Just missed outside.
It's Graham Fink, the Guardians hitting coach, and these guys are constantly doing more and more every day in the sense of trying their darndest to figure out what may be happening to certain guys. How do we continue to keep guys on the track they're on? How do we continue to improve these guys? Or what areas can we find to maybe add a little here?
Payoff pitch. Ball 4. Well, I think with Stephen Kwan, as you said, Chris, there's nothing wrong for any of us in any walk of life to want to improve, to try to get better, to try to do something that will improve the overall game, help the team win, all those things. But at the end of the day, the old country proverb, you dance with who brung you. And Stephen Kwan is that short stroke, you know, stay to the middle of the field. Right. And he does that. He's a difference maker. He draws a walk here with 2 down. And when he singled in the 3rd inning, Travis Pizzana, he got a fastball in the middle of the plate and ripped it into the right field corner, scoring Kwan all the way from first.
And this may be a situation you see Kwan take a chance here to try to get himself to second base. Travis Pizzana, the leadoff hitter, is at the plate.
And again, since Travis made his debut back on April 28th, he leads the ball club in doubles. That's his 15th double that he hit back in the 3rd inning. Out goes Henry Davis to have a chat with Jared Jones, and we'll get a word from Wayside Furniture.
If you or someone you know is expecting, check out Wayside Furniture's free crib program. Learn more at wayside-furniture.com.
Again, with Jared Jones, they have kept a very tight leash on the pitch count. Now, the most that I'm looking at, 81 pitches back at the end of June. Last 2 times out, 73 and 77 pitches respectively. He's at that 70 pitch mark now. Bullpen is quiet, but they have some guys up and around
stirring. Again, we just talked about both Gavin and Jared Jones not having any 2-0 counts. Well, Jared Jones is staring 2 straight batters with a 2-0 count down in a row now.
I know the game is always evolving, always changing, but do you recall instances, Chris, maybe when you were in the dugout and 3rd time through the order, you see a couple of 2-0 counts? Do you see those conversations start to pick up between pitching coach and manager and that type of thing?
You certainly do, and you know that too as a catcher. You know, going out and taking that trip there from Henry Davis was the smart thing to do. You break up the rhythm more than anything. You go out there, you allow Jared Jones catch his breath. Maybe you have a quick conversation about what pitch you want to throw. Right there was a 2-0 slider.
Now it's 3-0. And just did catch the strike zone with a fastball.
Again, if you're Trav right here, you are locked in on one pitch in one location. Even if strike 2 happens, you're still in a good situation.
Oh, he went to a backdoor slider, and it was a really well executed pitch.
You'll give him that. You'll tip your cap to that all day long.
Can you do it again, though?
This is where the guessing game as a hitter becomes maybe fun for some guys, but not for others.
Well, as you pointed out earlier, the way this guy's been throwing, you've got to be ready for 100 and hope he makes a mistake if he spins one.
Exactly. And you know, if he does throw 100 on the corner or the top rail, you hope you can foul that pitch off to get to that mistake.
Juan is running, and he just
perfect pitch.
Wow, that was really good. 90-mile-an-hour slider, and Pizzana just could not pull the trigger. Gavin Williams coming back out for the 6th. He has struck out 8 Pirate hitters. 2-1 Pittsburgh.
We're celebrating.
Welcome back to Progressive Field. Pirates still lead at 2-1 here at the top of the 6th. Well, All-Star Week featured some Guardians here in Cleveland, but it also featured Ralphie Velasquez representing the Columbus Clippers, and of course this Guardians organization in the Futures game. Got a base hit, and afterwards he talked about what he was looking for in that at-bat.
I mean, the dude throws 100, and it's the Futures game. Like, you're trying to hit a homer on a heater. So as soon as I saw a spin, I kind of just threw my hands at it, and Fortunately, it's a base hit. This one was different because I got a base hit and an RBI. The last one I was over, so it's definitely a better feeling. And for my parents to be in attendance is awesome.
Second Futures game for Ralphie. He had his parents in attendance as well, some family friends also. He said it was so exciting to be able to represent the organization, and he wanted to make sure that Cleveland fans know that they've got a winner in their organization in him, and he loves the city of Cleveland, so he's excited to contribute in the future, guys.
Yeah, he continues his ascent through the system, and it's been fun to watch. We had him mic'd up as part of the spring training showcase game a couple years ago. A lot of personality there. Swing and a miss by Brandon Lau, and that's 9 strikeouts for Gavin Williams. So both Gavin and Jared Jones with 9 strikeouts each here this afternoon. This has been old-fashioned throwback game.
It certainly has, and with the way the wind's blowing today, you thought this may be an opportunity for some teams to score some runs. But you can see that layoff right now. There's the wind. As a hitter, you love days like this.
Pirates hanging their hat on a 2-out 2-run homer in the second inning by Jacob Gonzalez. Outside of that, 2 singles. That's been it. Gavin Williams has mowed him down.
Yeah, you figure as a hitter, you look out. The first thing I used to do was which way was the wind blowing on days I played. And the next thing you prayed for was a game where you didn't face either pitcher like this.
Pirates get activity in their bullpen for the first time today. Majinski is getting loose. The way he's kind of going about it would lead me to believe they may, as the check swing is called a strike on the appeal to Alan Porter, they may send Jared Jones back out to start the 6th inning. Doesn't look like Majinski's in a real hurry, but then again, on a day like this, it may only take a few pitches before you're good and loose.
Call. That is a good call.
90 degrees and plenty of humidity. Probably doesn't take much. Ryan Reynolds has struck out twice today. It's 0-2. And a broken back bouncer through the middle. And the Pirates have their 5th hit of the afternoon.
Well, this pitch didn't quite get where Gavin wanted it to. Wanted it a little higher up there. You saw Reynolds swing through a pitch up there the first time through. This one was a little bit lower, and give him some credit, was able to just get that enough of that barrel on the ball to keep that thing up the middle and out of harm's way.
Reynolds a good base dealer. He's swiped 7 on the year. He's yet to be caught. As Merlin Valdez at the plate, 0 for 2. But the Pirates are well aware that Gavin Williams does a really good job of controlling the run game, and Patrick Bailey's a very good sharpshooter from behind the dish. Swing and a miss. He was leaning back trying to send that one to the bleachers, but he fouled the curveball off. It's 0-2.
Well, that's the young hitter in him right there. He will learn. You know, eventually, in the good old days, you'd get one up at your chin after a swing like that.
And a high fly ball hit to right field. Pretty well hit. DeLauder back. He's out of room, and it's gone. As Merlin Valdez, one pitch after he almost came out of his shoes, shoots it out of here the other way, and just like that, it's 4-1 Pittsburgh. That's his 11th home run in this, his 29th game.
Well, we talked about this young man having big power all over the ballpark. That is, again, another explanation of why. And I'm not sure Gavin wanted that pitch down and in. You can see where that target was from Patrick Bailey. But that's the type of power this young man has. And on a windy day blowing out to right center, it was just enough.
Ryan O'Hearn 0 for 2 today. Pops one out of play to the right. 2 2-run homers for Pittsburgh.
worst part is those last two batters, the single by Reynolds and the homer by the magician himself, were on 0-2 counts.
O'Hearn with a feeble swing goes down. That's number 10 for Gavin Williams. 2 down here in the 6th inning.
Now batting, third baseman number 3,
well, this was a better job of executing here by Gavin. You can see him get underneath this baseball and ride that top part of the strike zone there. It's where he wanted to go. Both pitches, the 0-2 counts before that.
It's hit well too. Deep center field. Watson back. He's going to watch this one sail out of here. You get it up in the air to that part of the yard. It's going to fly today. Second homer of the inning for Pittsburgh. Their third of the game. And it's now 5-1 Pirates.
Well, we did mention that this offense has been pretty darn good this season, leading the National League. Quite a few offensive categories. It swings like this. Look at that target.
128 home runs now for Pittsburgh. Going out of the All-Star break, they were number 1 in the majors in runs per game and team batting average. And you start saying to yourself, wait a minute, did you say number 1 in the majors?
That's
wait,
right.
The Pittsburgh Pirates, not the Dodgers with their bazillion-dollar payroll, not the Yankees with all their home run firepower.
Toronto Blue Jays, I mean, you name it, you can go down the list. No, you are absolutely spot on. It is the Pittsburgh Pirates. And again, I know that is maybe hard to believe, but this offense has drastically improved. And again, you know, if you're looking for a silver lining in this 5-1 baseball game, the underbelly of this bullpen has been a major issue for the Pirates, and had they not had some issues in the back end of their pen, they may have the best record in baseball right now.
Yeah, 17 blown saves will do that to you. But this is the number that really just jumps off the page. So last year, going into the All-Star break, the Pirates had scored 326 runs. This year, 516.
Wow.
But again, you change some of the pieces. Jake Mangum, Brandon Lau. The impact of Esmerlin Valdez in a short period of time. You add Ryan O'Hearn, that gives you some pop. Now they've added Jacob Gonzalez, who's hit a home run today. I mean, it's just a completely different team. And they are riding that the fickle fate of confidence that just kind of comes and goes. But man, when you've got it, you try to hold on to it.
To me, that's leadership in their clubhouse too. You know, it's some veteran guys in that clubhouse that aren't going to let them get rid of it.
Callahan goes down swinging. 11 strikeouts for Gavin Williams. But the Pirates with the long ball lead it 5-1.
Well, the Twins will be in town Monday through Thursday. Pick up a district ticket presented by Miller Lite for just $20 and catch the game from the corner bar, drink rails, or the terrace hall. District tickets include your first drink. Get yours today at CLEGuardians.com. Well, our Cerro Auto Park pitching change here. It's Carmen Malinsky coming in from the bullpen for the Pittsburgh Pirates as we got a little action here with Donnie Kelly. Talking to Roberto Ortiz. Possibly about a timing issue there with Malinsky coming in from the bullpen. This is a young man that was bumped out of the rotation for the starting pitcher that we just saw this afternoon in Jared Jones. See the numbers there from Lodinsky. He can spin it with the best of them. We just talked about Jared Jones doing the same thing.
Now Brian Rocchio 0 for 2 leads it off. Got their work cut out for him, down 4 here in the home half of the 6th. Lifted in the air, left center field. And Mangum, the center fielder, calls off Reynolds, 1 down.
Now batting for Cleveland, right fielder number 24, Chase DeWater.
Chase DeWater singled his last time up.
Good take right there. Again, Lodinsky's going to come in and he's going to throw the split. He's got the breaking ball. Technically has 7 pitches in his repertoire. You won't see all of those though.
Yeah, he's been that swing guy.
Right.
Back and forth, rotation, bullpen, wherever they've needed him.
This is another guy you cannot try and pull the baseball with as many splits as he will throw lefties. He does a good job of mixing in just enough fastballs to keep you honest. But if your thought process is pull, you're probably going to, be out in front of the split or just behind the 4-seam.
And a slow chopper to third, cut off by Nick Gonzalez, throws him out. 2 down. And with 2 down, here's Kyle Manzardo. Has struck out twice today. Carmen Mlodzinski, the first Pirate since Bob Patterson in 1992 to have 2 3-inning saves in a single season.
Interesting. It's certainly a throwback. You don't see that much anymore.
But it speaks to his versatility, right?
Again, too, knowing he's started, stretched out as a starter, that makes a lot of sense.
Two 2-0 the count for Manzo. If you think that's something, Mlodzinski is also the first pitcher since Dave Malicki, whose last name starts with an M and an L.
That'll throw you off for sure. You look at that and you're like, excuse me.
Dave Malicki, of course, came up with Cleveland. And way back in the day, he went with a package of players to the Mets when the Guardians, back then the Indians, acquired Jeremy Burnitz.
Ah.
Now the 2-2. And he just did get a piece of it.
Another one of those split fingers that he will throw. To left-handed hitters in particular, it's about 35% of the time he utilizes that pitch.
Line drive smashed to second. And Lau stayed right with it. And the Guardians go 1-2-3. 6 complete, 5-1 Pittsburgh.
Hurry into the
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Guardians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Guardians. Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen made here in inning number 7. Matt Festo on the pitch in relief of Gavin Williams. For Gavin, a strange final pitching line when you see 11 strikeouts, no walks, but 5 earned runs thanks to the 3 homers. Back to the netting and out of play.
Well, it's the second time in his career he has given up 3 homers in a game. And again, like you mentioned, what a weird stat line. He was in control for the majority of this game.
Jacob Gonzalez hit the first of those 3 homers for Pittsburgh, a 2-out 2-run shot in the second inning. It was, in fact, a no-doubter. The other 2 home runs on a different day might have stayed in the ballpark. We've seen that this ballpark, when the wind, you get a little bit of a breeze blowing in. Sometimes those fly balls to right field get knocked down, but today they sailed out of here.
Oh, the heat plays into that as well.
That also speaks to the role Pittsburgh has been on offensively. Two. Jam shot to second. 1 away. Celebrate Christmas in July on Monday when the Guardians take on the Twins, presented by Salvation Army. You can take photos with Santa, sing along to the holiday classics, enjoy Great Lakes Christmas Ale, and Fat Hat's Holly Jolly. Details and tickets at CLEGuardians.com. Henry Davis 0 for 2 to the plate. I think what's going to be really interesting for a team like Pittsburgh, who has seemingly wandered in the desert for a long time in terms of getting to that promised land of the postseason. What do they do with the trading deadline fast approaching? If anything, do they need to do anything? They're a game and a half back in the National League wild card race. So they're right in the thick of a very muddied wild card situation in the National League. But here's where it gets interesting. I counted today, Chris, there are 13 teams in all of baseball that are within 3.5 games of a postseason berth. Only 7 teams are 7 games or more out of the picture. So if you think about who are the sellers, there are 7 pretty much clearly defined sellers. And so that pool is a lot smaller, and the pool of buyers is a lot bigger. It's going to be maybe more difficult.
Oh, it certainly will.
To pull off a trade.
That is spot on. I do believe this is a major seller's market at this point in time. And again, a lot of baseball left to be played before August 3rd when the trade deadline is. But there's a lot of teams that kind of also need the same thing. You know, I mean, Pittsburgh, somebody at the back end of this bullpen to help out would be a massive addition. Do they need something offensively? No. Would they love to acquire something? Sure, I'm sure they would. And of course, you know, maybe some depth in the starting rotation. But if I am the Pittsburgh Pirates and I'm the general manager, I think this is one of those opportunities. It's too good to pass up. This offense, you just don't know if it's going to be the way it is next year. Same thing in your starting rotation. You know, they have a clear need at the back end of the bullpen, and I think you got to go be aggressive.
Up the ladder, a swing and a miss by Jake Mangum. Again, Mangum, one of the key pieces acquired in the offseason along with Brandon Lau. Mangum has hit .356 over his last 37 games.
Well, he's kind of a spark plug, a lot like Travis Bazzana on our side of things, but top of the lineup.
Swing and a foul tip. Ends the inning. Pirates go 1-2-3. Stretch time in Cleveland. Guardians down 4.
Welcome to Classic.
5-1, Pirates on top. Bottom of the 7th inning. And Rhys Hoskins to lead it off for Cleveland. He's 0 for 2 today. Carmen Majinski worked a 1-2-3 6th inning. Stays on to pitch the 7th. And a first pitch curveball in for strike 1. You know, the other thing that we didn't really talk about with regards to Pittsburgh's surge and their resurgence as a contender this year is the fact that they're doing this without some key pieces.
Yes,
much
they
like
are.
Cleveland. Cleveland, we talked a lot about, you know, missing Jose, Angel. They had Chase DeLauder out for a period of time as well. The Pirates are missing O'Neal Cruz, who can be a game wrecker when he's going right.
Certainly can.
They're missing Connor Griffin, who you talked about. That's why they went out and traded for Jacob Gonzalez. They're hoping Griffin might be back, but that's probably not till at least September. And who am I forgetting? There's one other big oh, Andy Rodriguez.
Spencer Horwitz.
And Spencer Horwitz.
Again.
I mean, it's incredible. Look at the numbers they're missing from an offense that's really seemingly just picked up and taken off and not looked back. There's a base hit. That'll get down to left field near the line. Rhys takes a turn. It'll hold with a leadoff single.
Nice swing there by Rhys. Hopefully Guardians get something going offensively here. As you can see, look at him keep the head behind the baseball. Just a good quality swing there.
Guardians need a crooked number in the
bad
worst possible way right now. Missed outside. Khalil Watson 0 for 2. Pirates have 3 left-handers in their bullpen. One of those, of course, their closer, Gregory Soto. Our Northern Ohio Buick GMC dealers will give you a word right here while they talk things over.
Get 4.9% APR plus $2,000 purchase cash on GMC Sierra heavy-duty Denali models.
You know, Chris, visits to the mound are so restricted now. Yet you've got to really pick your spot. Anything antenna go up for you why he goes out right there? You know, Rhys isn't going to be running, so that's not part of it.
That's not part of it. It was the shakes right there. They were trying to get on the same page of what they wanted to do. And you got a couple left. Again, this is a pivotal moment in the game, and I think Henry Davis realizes that.
Boy, that was good. That's a splitter, went straight down. Khalil is a guy that he's not shy. He's up there trying to do some damage.
Yes, he is.
And back with another good split. It's 1-2. The mental side of the game is so not only important, but it's so confounding for a young player like Khalil Watson, because I've heard him say, I've never been pitched this way before. The way they're attacking me with the array of pitches, he's up there. If he's trying to guess, that only makes it harder because
you look at that at bat he just had. He swung at the split in the bottom part of the strike zone, almost in the dirt. Then he takes the one that he probably should have swung at, and then they go right back to it, back foot split, and that's the one that he ends up swinging at. So, I mean, from his perspective, he has never been pitched as tough as he's been pitched so far in his short big league stint here in the big leagues, and that's such a difficult adjustment from a mental standpoint, like you brought up. It's hard for these guys to understand, why am I being pitched like this? How can I combat that now? And try to just, you know, look into a certain zone or a certain type of pitch that I'm looking to attack that particular at bat, because it changes at bat to at bat depending on the situation of the game.
And the 0-2 to Gaviarius is outside. It's so easy to just say, well, just simplify it. See ball, hit ball. Well, if you don't see a good fastball, okay, that plan went out the window.
No doubt.
So now you're trying to hit something that's spinning when you're behind in the count, and good luck.
And I had somebody tell me very early on in my career, and this is something that always stuck with me.
Swing and a miss, and Hoskins with a stolen base. He fooled everybody. He took off. And that's the first steal of the year for Hoskins. There are 2 down as Arias struck out. I think he realized they're not paying attention to me.
He had a hop, skip, and a jump, you know, before Jitski ended up throwing that pitch to home plate. And as a catcher, that's a bad feeling. You can see that out of the corner of your eye. And that one goes down, unfortunately, under Henry Davis, but not much he could have done about that.
Patrick Bailey takes a pitch low.
Get back to what we were talking about, though. I had somebody, Jamie Carroll in particular, one of my favorite teammates of all time, spent a few years here in Cleveland with us. But he said sometimes it's about looking for what you're going to hit as opposed to what you want to hit.
Lined in a nice catch by Callahan at first base to retire the side. 7 in the books. Pirates still lead it 5-1.
It's the summer.
The Discount Drug Mart Champions Club, located adjacent to our broadcast perch here at the ballpark. It puts you in a prime seat location overlooking the first baseline. Access to the indoor lounge, all-inclusive food and non-alcoholic beverages. CLEGuardians.com is where you go to get your tickets. 5-1, Pirates lead it. Matt Festa set him down 1-2-3 in the 7th. Brandon Lau rips through a pitch there. And it's 1-1. 8th inning. Lau 1 for 3 on the day.
We've talked about how good the Pirates have been offensively this year. Look no further than this young man right here. He has been squarely in that mix. A great acquisition for the Pirates in the offseason, along with Jake Mangum coming over from the Tampa Bay Rays. A couple of 40-homer seasons in that bat, and you just knew get him in that ballpark with that short porch and right, it could be a fun year.
An all-star snub. 21 homers, 64 ribbies going into the break. Tied for 13th in all of baseball in homers, 11th in runs batted in. Line drive, base hit, his second hit of the game. For a guy that has that kind of pop and sitting there at 21 home runs going into the break. The last Pirate to get 40 homers in a season was Willie Stargell, 1973.
Wow.
Now Josh Bell was the most recent Pirate to get 100 runs batted in a season. That was in 2019. But Brandon Lau, it's really interesting because just a few years ago, he had one of those teaser seasons. He finished the year with 39 homers and 99 runs batted in.
That's right.
And he said, you know, those are 2 unsexy numbers. So they stick out a little bit. So yeah, it'd be nice to get around 40 and 100. But he goes, here's the thing. And I think to your point, as Reynolds rips one to right and on a hop, DeLauder cuts it off. Reynolds going for 2. Nobody's home at second base, so he'll go in easily with the double, and Lau ends up at third. Our key plays of the game back in the 6th inning. A couple of home runs for the Pirates. A 2-run shot by Esmerlin Valdez, the magician. Made that one disappear. 2 batters later, Nick Gonzalez. He leaned into one and sent it out of here the opposite way.
Well, if you're an offensive player today, that's the place to aim. With the weather being what it is and the wind blowing the direction it is.
But here's what Brandon Lau said, and this speaks to what you
want
can do. You're going to challenge?
Previous speech was supposed to strike, moderate challenging.
Valdez will challenge. Pirates have one remaining. ABS powered by T-Mobile. And it is ball.
Hold is overturned. Pirates have 2 more.
Pirates only have 1 challenge remaining, but there was a lot going on there with the check swing. You could see Patrick Bailey immediately shooting down to first base. John Bacon to see if he actually swung the bat and would not be allowed to challenge at that point.
2 balls and a strike. The offside, this goes to the backstop, and another run comes home. 6-1 Pittsburgh.
Well, I'm not sure there's a worse feeling than that as a catcher. You know, this is a ball Patrick Bailey should have corralled. Let's see, it looked like he might have even potentially been trying to go for a back pick there.
He scored that a wild pitch.
And you can see that's exactly what happened. He was setting himself up for a back pick and just didn't quite get the glove around it.
Cleveland brings the infield in.
Look at him move. You can see he's going that lower half going towards third base, and Festa yanked this baseball.
Valdez strikes out. 1 away. Third strikeout for Festa, and that's going to be it for him. Stephen Vogt will go back to the bullpen. It's 6-1 Pittsburgh in the 8th.
Introducing.
Well, our progressive defensive play of the game, Gavin Williams gave you 6 innings, struck out 11. There was a lot to like, just a couple of mistakes.
Yeah, a couple of mistakes on a day like today where the wind's blowing out to right center field. And that's why the score is the way it is, but you have to like how he came out attacking this offense. The swing and miss was there today. Just those couple of tough pitches potentially cost him an opportunity at something special.
Did not walk a batter. Cody Hoyer on to face Ryan O'Hearn with the infield in and a runner at third base. And Pittsburgh leading it 6-1. O'Hearn golfs one high in the air, deep right center. DeLauder makes the catch. Tagging up, coming home is Brian Reynolds. 7-1 Pirates. RBI number 64 for Ryan O'Hearn.
And that's just O'Hearn being a veteran right there, knowing the situation of the game. Got a pitch that he felt like he could get to the big part of the field. Easy money right there.
Pirates came in averaging 5.3 runs per game, most in the majors. And they have put 7 on the board here today. They have hit 2 2-out home runs, accounting for 3 of those 7 runs. So those are always bonus type runs.
That's right.
When you get one swing of the bat with 2 outs and you put runs on the board, it's deflating for the opposition.
It certainly is, you know, especially with how good Jared Jones was on the other side of things. Again, like I said, as a hitter, you look and see the way the flags have been blowing today, and you get excited, and then you just hope and pray you don't see somebody like Jared Jones on the other side.
Hoyer knocked it down. Can he recover in time? He threw it away. But it stays in the field of play. Saul Gonzalez reaches on an infield single.
Well, this ball did get Cody in the glove. And you can see that's just a spike job. Again, an unnatural position for a pitcher, but you have to be able to field your position.
Not sure why they're going out to check on him unless something happened when he went to get the baseball in his lower half. He clearly just hit him in the glove. Didn't stick. But they're going to go out and check, make sure he's all right. And with 2 down, Tyler Callahan will be coming up from Pittsburgh. By the way, speaking of comebackers, Tim Herron, he got drilled on a comeback line drive on his pitching elbow.
Right.
And it sounds like he's progressing, going out to pitch again on a rehab stint.
More positive news there.
Boy, initially when that happened,
it looked scary.
It looked like that was going to be more than just a
bruise,
contusion, which
right.
is what ultimately it turned out to be. But I think anytime as a pitcher you get hit on the business elbow, your immediate thought is that's not good. Inning over. Pirates tack on 2 more. They lead 7-1. Hey, your next trip to the ballpark, check out the SeatGeek infield boxes, semi-private outdoor boxes. They have great views, all-inclusive menu, access to the exclusive infield lounge. Reserve your SeatGeek infield box at premium.cleguardians.com. Carmen Majinski going old school out here for a 3rd inning of relief.
With the doubleheader, you almost wondered, does he finish the game?
Starting to wonder that myself. Goose Gossage, early in his career, started with the White Sox. And he was still not a full-time reliever as Kwan lines that ball into left field. And let's go to our Chevy drive of the game. Travis Bazzana back in the 3rd inning.
Well, he got a heater, and he did what you're supposed to do on heaters. That's a swing we haven't seen a ton of out of him coming, just into the break. But boy, is that a great sign, hopefully going forward. Because that's what that young man can do. He can get you back in a ball game in a heartbeat. And again, that's just a part of that maturation process for a young player in his first experience here. Still so many firsts happening for a lot of these guys in this lineup today.
Juan at first base with Bazzana at the plate, and he's talking to the umpire, trying to get on the same page. It's an 0-1 count. Very polite young man, Travis Bazzana. Carmen Majinski has given up just 2 hits. And this is 3rd inning of relief work. I was starting to say Goose Gossage began his career with the White Sox. And in 1976, he was still they weren't sure if he was a starter or reliever. He made 29 starts in 1976 with the White Sox. The next year, with the Pittsburgh Pirates, he moved exclusively to the bullpen, never started another game. In that year, he pitched in 72 games. 72 games. He had 26 saves and pitched 133 innings.
Oh my goodness.
So this is a Goose Gossage type.
Boy, when you say throwback, that is the epitome of a throwback. Man, how times have changed in that regard, huh?
Bazzana golfs one in the air to center. Mangum backs up a little bit. 1 down. Yeah, they were built a little different back then because he did that the following year too in his first year with the Yankees. 134 innings in 63 games. And then they started to kind of peel that back a little bit here and there.
But I mean, nowadays you figure if you get to 70 appearances as a bullpen
That's
guy,
a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of appearances.
But usually you're not much more than 70 or so innings.
Correct, and especially in today's day and age, you know, with how specialized bullpens have become. You know, that's why we've seen starters. You get through the 5th inning, you get me through the 5th inning. I've got weapons from the 6th through wherever else I need it. And as a hitter, it's hard. It is very, very difficult to face a new pitcher seemingly every time you're at the plate.
And again, Gossage, Hall of Famer, Raleigh Fingers, Hall of Famer, was kind of the first of that sort of mode where, you know, he was 100 innings out of the bullpen year after year after year. Rocchio with a liner to second. 2 down.
Those are the types of at-bats right there that'll just drive you insane. Yeah, I mean, you got a pitch to hit, you put a great swing on it. The game situation is what it is. Give Stephen Kwan a little credit there. Brian Rocchio didn't even make it out of the batter's box. He hit that ball so hard, just right at Brandon Lau. You know, with the new trends in baseball in particular, with bullpens being such a priority now and specialized, and starting pitchers not going as deep into baseball games, you almost wonder, you know, the game has a way of kind of coming back, just like bell bottoms, so to speak, right? They come back into trends, and you almost wonder when that trend is going to kind of shift, and when will we start to look at pitchers as being more of a horse in getting deep into ball games and throwing 200+ innings.
Bouncing ball to second. And DeWalter is retired. We played 8. It's 7-1 Pittsburgh. Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. Official jerseys, memorabilia, hats, and hoodies. They've got you covered. MLBshop.com/Guardians, your official source for Guardians gear. 9th inning, and Jacob Gonzalez leads it off. The former White Sox infielder came over 8 days ago in a trade, and he impacted this game early. 2nd inning, a 2-out, 2-run homer. Got the Pirates off and running. He added a single in the 5th inning. Left side, out of pay. Here's our scores from around the league, courtesy of Bet365. A ball right to Rocchio. The shortstop fires it over, 1 down. I wasn't sure if the Pirates were going to let Majinski go for a 4-inning save today. They've got action in the bullpen, so it appears that may not happen. It's a fairly rare occurrence, but I was just checking. And just recently, the White Sox, Tyler Schweitzer had a 4-inning save.
I did not know that. Again, it's so rare in today's day and age.
Oh, just beyond the outstretched glove of Travis Bazzana. And Henry Davis thought about 2. He has to scamper back to first base, and he's in there safely with a 1-out single.
Well, this is a case of taking what the pitcher's going to give you. Ball out over the plate, and he smoked it. You could tell he saw that ball, the direction it was going. Thought that ball might sneak past those 2 outfielders. But good job by Chase at getting over there, cutting that ball off and getting it to the cutoff man. Holding Henry Davis to just a single.
Ground ball to second. Pisana gets one with Rocchio. On to first. They turn 2 and end the inning. Last chance for the Guardians coming up.
Toyota.
That was a crazy game of poker. Crazy game of poker. I lost it all. But someday I'll be back again. I never to fall, never to fall.
Now that was a crazy game of poker.
It is OAR Day here at Progressive Field. The band, they had guys with the horns performing the national anthem pregame. That was sweet.
Fantastic job.
Bottom of the ninth, Guardians down 7-1. Isaac Mattson is the new pitcher for Pittsburgh, so no 4-inning save opportunity for Carmen Mlodzinski. He went 3 innings of 2-hit shutout relief.
See the numbers there on Mattson. Big fastball guy.
It's going to go foul down the left side.
This is one of those new fancy words you hear, induced vertical break.
Induced vertical break.
That's right. So what that means essentially is how, as a hitter, your eyes perceive the fastball coming in. Your eyes are telling your brain it's on a certain plane, and he's able to backspin the ball enough that it stays above that plane.
So that is a smart guy way of saying
that's exactly right.
He throws a rise ball.
He throws a rise ball. Yep. And that's something that the only reason I bring it up is because front offices now are just absolutely enamored with these types of guys, because now you can get into the pitch design and you have that rising fastball, or what appears to be a rising fastball. You know, you throw a big top to bottom curveball or a 12-6 off of it, and now you can start planing stuff.
So you may be talking about our buddy Cody Allen.
That's exactly right. He was kind of one of the originators of that.
Guys that can, as you say, backspin the ball, so it keeps the fastball on the same plane, as opposed to most mirror mortals. That fastball starts to drop down.
Gravity
just
starts
a little bit.
to take
At least
into
the
effect.
perception of the
That's
hitter.
exactly right.
You see that ball start to drop down into the hitting zone. But guys who keep it on that same plane, it gives the illusion that that ball's rising.
It gives the illusion that that ball's rising, and again, your eyes are telling you you need to swing the bat in this particular location, and you're underneath a lot of times because of that.
Swing and a miss. Is that it right there?
That would be it. That was probably up right out of his hand. But again, when you know and have to respect, you know, the split, the changeup, something that works that top to bottom quadrant, just look at him pull down on that ball, and it just kind of stays on that plane. It does not. And again, that ball was a little bit high and outside of the zone, but that is a perfect example.
That, maybe I didn't see that correctly on the replay, but it almost looked like not a four-seam grip, but looked like he had it on the seams, like
it's
with
a little. It certainly looked like that from the replay. But again, that's being able to stay behind the ball and really pull down and behind it.
Take another look. Where's that grip?
It looks like he's got four seams.
Okay,
there.
yeah, okay, it does. Yeah.
But that last pitch, this is where it really gets you. Is your eyes Rhys Hoskins at the plate right now? That's called what we like to refer to as the low dart. That ball stays on that plane just like that.
Well, Mattson is a guy that, okay, so Pirates bullpen, much maligned, 17 blown saves, that jumps out at everybody. But Mattson is a guy that you just talked about, the stuff and what he possesses, the arsenal that he possesses. You look at the numbers and you say, oh, here's the weak link, a 4.40 ERA in 32 appearances. He's given up 15 runs. 9 of those came in 2 games.
See, and that's where you have to kind of dig under the hood a little bit to look. You take away those 2 games, those numbers look drastically different.
Yeah.
Again, that's also part of the unfortunate part of being a reliever. You know, you throw so few innings.
That call's clubbed deep center. Back goes Cook. And he makes the catch. 2 down.
But you throw so few innings as a reliever these days that you don't have an opportunity to make that up. You have one bad outing, it can cost you your season.
Well, and as you know, too, the human nature side of the game, guys in the dugout, the guys who are making those decisions on who we're bringing in, who we're stacking up, who we're lining up. You have a couple of games where you give up 4 runs, you give up 5 runs. You kind of tend to get pushed to the back of the pack, and so you're not getting as many opportunities to get those numbers down.
And especially, like you just said, in the malign bullpen where you're searching, if you're Donnie Kelly, for outs anywhere you can get them. You know, that's a tendency to kind of push a young man back to the back part of the pen where you're in lower leverage until you can earn that trust of the manager again.
But it's another big arm that could be very beneficial to this team in the last couple of months of the season. There's a nice swing by Khalil Watson. He wraps that 96-mile-an-hour fastball into center field.
Again, another fastball that kind of stayed middle to middle up. Give Khalil a little bit of credit. Against these types of guys, you almost have to approach the top part of the baseball. And Khalil did just that, staying to the big part of the field and hitting a line drive.
Gabriel Arias 0 for 3 today. Swing and a miss. Say this for Matson. That's only the 3rd pitch that has not been a strike out of the 15 he's thrown.
It's impressive.
So when you call on a guy that maybe is kind of moved out of the spotlight role, when he comes in, you give him the ball, this is what you want to see. Fill up the strike zone.
Especially in a game with a score like this. There is no harm done in pounding the strike zone. If they're going to hit their way on, that's okay. You do not want to walk guys in situations like this. That's how teams have a tendency to get themselves back in baseball games.
Matson with a 1-2 pitch. And a foul back. Relievers who don't throw strikes get themselves in the doghouse real quick.
Real quick.
Reminds me of a great old school story. Art Fowler was longtime pitching coach of Billy Martin with the Yankees. And whenever a young reliever would come in and not throw strikes in a game like this, he would take the slow walk out and he said, son, I don't know what to tell you, but Billy's getting mad and the beer's getting warm, so start throwing strikes. 1-2 fouled right back.
Again, people don't realize how hard hitting actually is. I mean, think about all the balls that are thrown right down the middle, pretty much like you just saw that pitch right there, and it's fouled off. Hitting a round ball with a round bat is the hardest thing in sports to do.
The 1-2 in the dirt. And sometimes, I guess, as a hitter, you're thinking the last thing he's going to throw me is a fastball right down the middle. You're thinking, especially with 2 strikes, you're thinking it's going to be a nasty slider or it's going to be an off-speed pitch, and all of a sudden,
that's where they get you.
You don't pull the trigger because it's the last thing you're expecting.
It's the last thing you're expecting, and you're trying to see that spin or that breaking ball up in the strike zone.
And that'll do it. The Pirates with a convincing series opening win. 7-1 the final score as Pittsburgh runs their win streak to 4 in a row. And the Guardians' 4-game win streak comes to an end. These two teams now dead even on the season, identical 51 and 47 records. Jarrett Jones gets the win for the Pirates. He goes to 2-1 on the season. Gavin Williams suffers the loss. He falls to 10-5. And in just a couple hours, we'll be back with game 2 of our day-night doubleheader between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. But stay tuned now Guardians postgame. Al Pawlowski and Ben Broussard coming up next.